Nice. So good morning. Well, I'm gonna introduce Jeremy. I think all the persons come on the live. The first time to get Jeremy on the live was, oh my God, that was a job.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember?
Yeah.
Oh my father. So good morning again. I said I was going to go live since 8:45. I'm gonna pick it. Sorry, no, we're going. I even see in the comments. Sometimes the comments is take a late to come up. You see, I'm now seeing here. Holly, good morning. So I'm here sitting with a gentleman. His name is Jermin. He will introduce himself to you. Um, I don't know how many persons will remember this face. He look good though. Thank God for your
Thank you.
strength.
Thank
You
you.
look good. You look good. With all the stress and all of that, you look well. I was happy when I saw you this morning and say, yes, at least he's standing up. Patsy, how are you? So I'm here this morning and I'm with German. Just indicate to me if you're hearing us. And of course, German, you're going to have to speak up. Um, and many of you would have seen German about a year and something ago now,
It's
almost two
almost two
years,
years.
almost two
Almost
years
two
on a
years.
live. And German traveled all the way from the Pomeroon, that is in Region 2. Um, and German, I really thank God for German and his strength. A man who's fighting for his daughter and fighting even after 2 years. And I know that he's going to press on. And so we're just here in support because I often say to persons, it's not the adults sometimes who are out here and commenting and very idle, some of us, but it's the little children who really needs us and need my voice. And um, Jeremy is going to introduce himself. He has a daughter. We're going to go back through the story of his daughter being raped. And I want to encourage you to tag somebody, share it. Um, Tag Vindy. I'm going to pick it you just now, by the way. Tag the Minister of Home Affairs, tag the Commissioner of Police, tag the Chancellor, tag all the lawyers and so forth, tag the embassies. It's just to show how the system continues to fail. And German is just about one. But there's so many persons out there. Some people give up German, and that's why I thank God for you. Some people give up because the system is so burdensome. It is
It's
designed
a
for you to
failure.
give up. It's
It's a
designed.
failure.
Roxanne, how are you? So German, introduce yourself, and then I want you to share with us the situation. Walk us back from the inception. What happened? With your daughter and things like that, please.
Okay, no problem. Good day. Well, like I was introduced, I'm German Edwards. Um, I'm from Escobar. I came here this morning to just reiterate what happened in 2024. Um, Back then, she was just three, my daughter. Um, Attending school, she was always joyful, joyful. She jovial. She was always attentive. She's the one of the favorites with the teachers. A jolly person. So one day the teacher gave me a call. She told me that the child came to school. Well, the day previously she came to school, she wasn't attentive to her work. She wasn't this jolly person as she knows, but she just um, helped her through the day. The following day was the same thing, but this day the child was more frustrated. She gave her the normal day's work, but the child she just dung her head on the desk. She refused to do the work, scratching on the paper and so on, frustrated.
Was she with you then, your
Yeah,
daughter,
she
or
was.
she?
No, she was with the mother then.
Okay.
Um, she was the mother for about a week
Okay.
within that time. Um, the teacher then asked her what's wrong, and she's very forward. She's brave, so she told the teacher that well, the mother is living with somebody, I entrusted her that, it's our child. We were co-parenting. I said that she would give the same attention as I would, the same care as I would.
Mhm.
So I was a little concerned, but not that worried. It's the mother. I said a mother's love towards her daughter and so on. So she told the teacher that this guy, this stepfather, the mother would have her call him Daddy London, was tickling her all night and she
Mm.
couldn't sleep.
Mm.
So the teacher, being a fellow woman,
Mhm.
she became concerned. She called me. Well, me as the father, as soon as I heard about it, there's not something to take lightly with your children.
Yeah.
So the welfare was notified. Um, Me, along with the child, we went to the welfare officer. Um, there
Speak up a
they,
little bit for them. The saying is very low.
oh, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Thanks for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there they interviewed the child. They asked her if he was if he was playing with her vagina and stuff like that. But the terminology to this child, they didn't really have a proper interview with a child. I wasn't
Mm.
satisfied. But remember, it's their job. So I didn't really comment on it. So the child wasn't saying much. So I figure it's because of me. She was probably embarrassed because she's very smart. So I
Mhm.
left the room and I told the officer that, maybe she can do the interview in my absence and so on. I trust her with that. I left the room. It wasn't 2 minutes. She came out and told me no, she didn't get anything from this child. But I wasn't satisfied.
Mhm.
So I took it to the police station. I made a report. Um, the welfare officer told me that, well, before I left there, she told me that she's going to come to the school and speak to the teacher in my presence. It's nursery, so that would have been around midday. I waited at the school until probably 2 o'clock. She never showed. Then is when I decided to go to the station because I wasn't taking my daughter home in the state. And I know how the law is. And I'm saying it, not everyone, but most of these police officers, they don't care unless it's something personal. So I went to the station, I made a report. Um, the officer told me that she would get a female officer to accompany me and I need a female family member. We went to the hospital. This this might sound wrong, but in my mind, I already knew something was wrong. And I was thinking, oh, this is how bad this is. My good thought was, oh, he probably just fondled this child.
Mhm.
Imagine that had to be my good thought.
Mhm.
So we went to the hospital and so on. She was there with the female doctor. They did what they did. I had to wait outside. The police officer, my female family member, and the female doctor, the gynecologist, they did what they did. So my cousin came out first, and I could see the expression on her face. I asked her what happened. She just went in a corner crying. The police officer came out and told me that I can go in now and talk to the doctor. When I was in there, imagine the doctor and the police officer, they introduced me with a warning.
Mhm.
What I'm about to hear, don't do nothing drastic. Don't do nothing that would involve myself. Don't, with this. So right away I became concerned. Anyway, the doctor carried on telling me that my daughter, my 3-year-old daughter, is not, her hymen is not intact. My 3-year-old daughter. And that she's been penetrated. So when she said penetrated, I asked her if, like, with the finger could have caused it. She said no. Well, I didn't want more of a definition. I already know where she's coming from. So in all this hurt, she comforted me again, told me that don't do anything, but there's more. When you
Mm.
hear this and there's more, so she told me this is something that could not have happened once.
Mm.
It was happening a while. There's one. Secondly, from the examination, this child was penetrated within 72 hours ago because there's scarring within and a laceration. There's a cut. And it happened again within the 24 hours. This is why I had to hear. Anyway,
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah. Cry, breathe, really.
I,
Stop, eh?
with all this, I went back to still hold my composure, you know. I went back to the police station. They, they gave me all satisfaction that they're gonna do whatever and so on. The next day, I'm not a person who's gonna sit idly by. The next morning I was there. The police officer, she's a CID Miss Boston.
Mhm.
I asked her what's the outcome of the matter, where if I need any, if whatever. They have me there like I'm a burden.
Mm.
So I just waited out, allowed her to do what she had to do, and I stayed there. Anyway, her word to me was, they can't do any arrest because this is the words from a child. This is hearsay. And a police officer, another police officer, accompanied us to the hospital, heard everything, you know. And you telling me this is hearsay?
So your child goes in, reached to the attention of the welfare officer.
Yes.
The welfare officer said that she ain't getting anything out to this child. I mean, bring piece of tissue for me. Even if you gotta cry, German, this is hard for me too. And up to now, when you come there again, you didn't hear from this welfare officer again.
No.
Okay, continue.
As a matter of fact, the next day,
Mm-hmm.
when I went to the police station,
Mm-hmm.
she was there, the welfare officer. Apparently, she had reports to fill out and so on. You know what this girl asked me?
Mm-hmm.
I Miss Jeffrey. You know what this girl asked me? What are you doing there?
The welfare asks
Yeah,
you
what
what
are you
you
doing
doing
at the
there.
station? So I just looked at her. So she said, I didn't tell you to wait for me at the school I was gonna go. I said we waited there the entire almost the entire day. You never showed. You never showed. So apparently she was trying to show me like she was there or whatever. But I was there. She never showed. After they told me about here, see, I thank God. Somebody told me the minister, Miss Bindi, the minister is on the coast. This is second day. Right away, I didn't waste any time. I traveled to where the minister was speaking. I waited. Lo and behold, there is the same CID officer and the welfare officer in the front row. So I walked, waited at the sidelines
Mm-hmm.
where I know I would get to talk to the minister.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see them looking at me, but I didn't care. It's my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as the minister was finished, I asked for an excuse and so on. I got to talk to her. I spoke to her, told her what happened. She ordered one of the senior ranks. He was speaking about abuse and women and so on, you know. He
At
just
the
finished
same
speaking
function.
at the same function.
Hypocrites.
She ordered him to look into the matter. She said, make sure this guy is whatever, whatever, and so on. After she left, I talked to him. I said, so what we gonna do? We gonna go, you gonna get this guy arrested, or he got a lot to do now. Let's leave it for the morning.
This is a 3-year-old, you fighting, get raped, welfare and show up. Now the police saying he got nothing to do. You go to the minister to get the attention because the police officer, female, to telling you hearsay. Wow.
And I
Continue.
know by this time they would have the family and so on, and this guy would have already known.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there was a chance he would have gone, he would have whatever. Things are already happening in the background with them. So he told me for the next day. I waited the next morning when I called him. He told me he can't deal with the matter. That is something the CID office is already dealing with, and I got wait on her. Put me back at square one. Anyway, had some family members I reached out to and so on. And eventually, all the time being frustrated, but God was leading me. I know that. Eventually, I got onto Miss Brooms. I'm thankful for that. As soon as I came live and we talked and so on, they called me. Why I had to go so far, all these things. Anyway, they told me that I must report at the station. When I went to the station, there's a guy with his family and so on. Then they decided that they could take this matter further. No, the family coming and tell me things story and that. Now with my child. Anyway, going forward, he got charged. It went before the court. Within um, a day, the first day, he got charged. He went before the court. He got remanded, I believe. The Friday, I got a phone call. My brother laptop. Anyway, went to the station and so on. I can't speak to him. So I said, who's in charge? The person in charge is in Georgetown. How the person in charge for Anna Regina Station is in Georgetown? Then they told me, no, the person in charge for that matter. I can't talk to nobody else. This person in charge of that matter is in Georgetown. I got a number for him. I called him. Yeah, he traveling coming. 2, 3 hours later, he traveling coming. Next thing I can't get on, block me or something. The
And your brother in the
Saturday,
lockup.
yeah, the Friday afternoon. The Saturday, nothing. The Sunday, somebody told me they're affiliated with the police station and I should carry some clothes to my brother because they're trying to pass you through the court Monday. I don't know what my brother charged for. I don't know what going on, nothing. He went to the court the Monday morning. Um, the prosecutor was a senior guy named Chatagoon. I can't remember the first name. Is Chatagoon. He was the prosecutor against my brother the Monday. Anyway, the story came up. My brother is a menace, whatever. He tried to refuse bail. My brother went on $200,000 bail.
Because the same man who your daughter alleged raped her, say your brother running with a
Running
cutlass.
with a cutlass, one chappy and so on.
One chappy. Oh my God.
My brother get bail. Um, the Tuesday, they call the guy case the Tuesday. Tell me if this judicial system makes any sense.
Mm.
The Tuesday they call the guy case, and guess who's the prosecutor for me? Chatagoon. How you could be represent? How you could be against me today and tomorrow you for me? That makes no sense. And it's not like there's one prosecutor that they don't have a choice. The week before or the few days before when the guy got remanded or whatever it was, there was another prosecutor. When the Tuesday when I had to be present at court, the day before my brother he got bail. This day when I had to be present, the prosecutor who was for me the few days
For the
before, he
case with
was
yourself.
there. He
Mm-hmm.
was there. So when I was there expecting him to stand up, because the last time he objected to bail, this is how the guy went on your
Mm-hmm.
laptop. When I expect him to stand up, Chatagoon stand up. So the judge asked him if there's any objections towards bail or whatever. He said no. how you could be representing for me
Which is your child. Yeah, I get you.
and you doing that?
Yeah.
The guy get, I don't know how much thing, bail. I keep following it up. Apparently, me reaching out to you or to anybody else is a problem.
Mm.
Victimization. I ain't afraid for calling him. I got one of them prince holder. Is this guy family? Strong, and I'm not into politics, but he very blatant. It's something you know, the entire script, you know, strong, up new person, he in everything. He very forward. So he pushing for he family and he thing and so on, you know? He pushing for his family and they're doing what they got to do. I said, okay. Anyway, they calling me. They want me settle this, settler. They're trying to talk. I said, no. Next thing you know, over a month after, you know, I get called in at the station. This guy made a report. That would be over a month ago. He made a report that I run here and chop you up and that kind of thing. Running for chop you up.
Running for chop you up. He ain't got no chop nothing. Okay.
So I asked him, I say, if he made this report since the day, every day running me here and you all at the station, nobody ain't telling me nothing. All of a sudden, I get arrested for this and for that. Anyway, it reached the court again. Now, I in the court, I getting tried by the court system because I trying for look out for me that. So they're pushing me now to either react in a way that gonna cost me or turn a blind eye.
For done the matter because they're behind you for
Yeah.
done the matter.
Anyway, long story short, they're putting off every week, but I still every week I attending. They can't frustrate me as my child. And if they go ahead suffer the rest of me like every day with the dead on there. Anyway, they put it off. Eventually they say, oh, this matter adjourned to the High Court. So I asked, what is the next step from there? We gotta wait on a court date. I said, okay.
She's 3 now, she's 5. You get a date?
No.
Okay.
Anyway, once his matter adjourned to the High Court, whoever they're out the way, they start dealing with me and my brother. No time. He get 1, I get 1 month sentence, he get 4.
So I want the viewers understand the same man who your daughter point out as the person who raped her, 3 years old. He went and said, brother, run you down for Chappie. And then a month later, he said you. And then you and your brother now boxing in the court. He ever show up in court with the allegations he make against y'all? He ever show up to court?
No.
He never show up to give
No,
evidence?
They ain't got no witness. His brother and his father was there a few times. No witness, nothing. They're just real scanty.
And just sentence you to
Yeah.
1 month in prison. And your brother get 4 months. So you went and served your jail sentence.
Yeah.
And still waiting for date. Your daughter is how old now?
She's 5 now. It's 2 years ago.
There's 2 years. And you're still waiting for date.
Yeah.
But because the same man who a 3-year-old, one guy needs to understand, a 3-year-old, you get jail and your brother get jail. Y'all went to Luziknan prison.
Yeah.
And the same people come even to Luziknan prison
Yeah.
to ask you to drop the story. They're so barefaced and come and visit you in the jail.
Yeah, tell them.
So when it was an allegation at the time when we spoke on my live, when the people said they connected and the corruption and who ain't getting paid and police and all of that, that was brought to my attention. It come round to me, in my opinion, to be true. Because imagine this is what happening to your 3-year-old daughter. The doctor says she was penetrated not once, but twice. And within 72 hours in the last 24 hours. So you got to take that. This child was fainting because they gave her HIV medication and all of that. Very painful story. But you get a month in prison. Your brother 4 months. And you're still waiting for a date in the High Court. And this person, this alleged person, I heard is not even in the country, but we can go to there. But, and since after then, I heard the family is very, but how is it for you after going to jail? You waiting for people call this word justice. You did all the right things. The teacher report, you go to welfare. Welfare pay you no mind. You heard the ministers on the coast. You traveled. The minister tell the police. Police didn't do nothing. You following up this matter. Just for this man get charged for this rape that the doctor has given a medical. Blossom was there. Police was there and everything. But this man got so much of ranks. Your brother get locked up for 72 hours. Then you followed through and then both of you went to jail. So that you must be silent on a matter where a man raped your 3-year-old daughter. Now she's 5. From then to now, have you heard anything from social protection? Anybody there to counsel, any support, anything at all? Have you heard anything from
Nothing,
them?
nothing, not one word, nothing. Nobody reached out to me. They don't know if this child is alive, this child is dead. They don't know if I'm a bad father, I'm worse than the mother. They don't know nothing. They just lose me and my child, they done. They give me a paper saying that I have custody of my child. Thank God for that. Because when I got locked up, the same prince holder gone with the mother. And I asked the officer, so I said, Madam, this child, when they interviewed her at the Blossom Center, this girl saying that she telling the mother steady this thing happening. The mother tell she don't say that I'm beating she.
Oh my God.
So I asked them, I said, this is not, the mother can't be charged or something can't thing against. She can take it up with the DPP, but she ain't get back no word. I said, okay. So when I was locked up now, Prince Ola and the mother gone to the welfare pushing to collect my daughter.
To go back in the house with the same man that she living with.
How this thing could make sense? How it could make sense? If I didn't push and do the piece paperwork, what would have happened?
And this, when he came out of the jail, this was so provoking, he was so broken. He had to go away in the bush.
Yeah.
Was in the interior for months.
I still got to provide for my family. I still got to go ahead with my life. And you know the trauma I going through, and my daughter going through, she had to go through 1 month of medication and is HIV medication. They don't know if the guy had it or not. They had to administer it. This is what they said. At the hospital, they don't even know the dosage. I asked them if they're safe. They have to call some other doctor somewhere and then give this girl. This girl getting headaches every day. She nauseous, she vomiting. This is what I gotta go through with my child. At the time when the Blossom Center reached out to me, Miss Tilita, she would call me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Ask me how is the child and everything. More than the welfare never even call me one day. They made me a promise that they're gonna be checking on me to make sure the child is okay. Mm-hmm. One day I never see them. Never. This is what I gotta go through. Not only that, when I came out, I went into the interior work and so on and thing. Came back to Escobar. I can't be in Escobar right now. I get infantilized. I went to this heritage with my family. The brother and his wife there. So my wife touched me and showing me. Watch me and cutting eye and provoke. You done wrong, man. What you provoking me for left me no one? Yeah, but they can't get me to do nothing. God on me side. Y'all can't get me to do nothing. God on me side. I gonna wait it out and God gonna work for me. God on me side. God gonna work for me and God gonna work for me, God angel. I know I ain't gotta do nobody nothing. God gonna do it.
You know, I want to make this point, and I want to thank you again for traveling, because Jermaine saw me. When I am talking about on my live about this 3-year-old, you notice me picketing Vindy office and picketing up there, and I talk about a system that is failing the children. The social worker make no sense in this whole entire matter, then and even up to now. So you don't get the social work on your side. The police completely ignored you. The police come like a weapon of mass destruction like those missiles that is shining around right now with the war. Come with missiles, imprison you and your brother. You're still waiting for a date for the matter to be heard in a high court. And the man with all this allegation, he's out there walking and roaming till his family seeing you and mimicking at you like, you know what I mean? Like they got it covered. People, this is a 3-year-old, you know. This child is only now 5. You could imagine you got a 3-year-old and people out there walking and telling what you celebrating and Women International and the protection of children. When all these things, and I'm saying to you, some stories, if they come like you out here, I know what I'm saying, but Guyanese people still treating this like a story. This is our children crying in the wilderness. This is them being murdered and slaughtered. And the system don't care anything. They're more passionate for collect money and prove a point to charge you for assaulting a man who lucky that he's alive because it's your child and don't do nothing wrong. I thank God that you trust in the Lord, because the Lord won't give me that, because, you know, I believe in God, he's able. And you still out here and people meeting you and telling you about the story. But tell me what keeps you. People just meet you and tell you about their story.
A lot of close friends of mine, you know. A lot of you won't believe the amount of people going through this or been through this, you know. A lot of female family I have, friends. People close to me, at least over 5, almost 10 persons reach out to me and tell me they've been through this situation. You don't get over it. It don't end. It's not something easy. But then it's not just a system to society. You see me coming out and talking. This is what a lot of them do. They keep it to themselves. But then again, the police, the victimization, and all these things is what helping to fuel it, because you can't go out and say that, oh, as a young lady, let me say that you're 10 plus, you have understanding, you could explain yourself, you could reach out to social media or to the public. This has happened to me.
Yeah, because you've been through it, because you came to me and we were live on Facebook and the police harass you, you get victimized and say, what you had to go to Brooms for?
So a lot of women talk to me. A girl even told me that she spoke to her mother and grandmother about it. What her uncle did, which is the mother brother. And it caused a rift within the family. She had to let it go. A close friend. These things traumatizing me. But
we can show up a picture again. This guy picture was up out there. Man, we put up the picture and a whole things. And that's what's happened to Guyana and Guyanese. By the time you put something and put it up there, sometimes we forget. This guy not only going through this now. When I first heard of this matter and I contacted him, I mean, the same victimization that he was thinking about, and to go on Facebook, never been on Facebook and all of that. And I said, well, regrettably, if you don't make a move like that, the police not going to charge the guy. And it turned out to be true. This after we went live on Facebook. It's only up until then the police.
Yeah.
And then the police moved a vengeance against him. And I want to say to you that with experience, although she's 3 years, and this is what is happening with our young ladies in society, because now the pedophiles, it is happening so much, she will never forget that nightmare. Because once the innocence, and these men, I've heard it from women, I've heard testimonies of women who got raped when they was 3 and 4, and it bothers them. Then the 5th, I went to a lot of conferences and seminars and things like that. And yet still, there's nothing that we want to come together and prevent. And when I go out there and pick it, and like I say, I can go alone, because you know I want to tell you the amount of stories that come to me on a daily. The amount of stories that come to me on a daily. I listen. Let me just say this to you. Week before the last, a woman trying to get on to me. Look, they got a pedophile somewhere in Haslington. You know, much parents used to drive taxi, now we drive in bus, but and the amount of children I have to go there. This thing is so huge. A woman came to me with an 8-year-old, 7-year-old. This is what is happening. And this child, when I ask her, is how many of them take her in this house? right? She told me it's 5 young men. And all 5 of them had sex with her repeatedly, back, front, and in her mouth at the same time. Guyanese, I don't know how you're comfortable. This woman left and she went out. And she got 2 children. The boy is 4 and the girl is 5. And she went out. She said the thing hurt her because she's normally fetch her children with her. But it was Saturday and a family member and so on, and her brother was home. And she left them and she went to the market because you know the bus to go back home. And when she go home, the brother got them and everything. Man left them and play and this and that. But the how the children was operating, and especially the little boy, it was not norm. So she collect them and so on. And the little boy started to get a fever. He was getting fever. So she left the children good and the boy getting fever. So she said, no, you know, they say wet them, bathe them with ice water. When she go, she brother rape both she little brother, she little son and she daughter. 4 years and 5 years old. You think it's now, is this a society? What am I saying? It's not a Nancy story. When I mention about a little child from Essequibo, 3-year-old, I'm sure a lot of people, oh, you're only talking out there, right? But I'm happy today to have you again to remind us as a nation what children are going through. This is a sick matter. And I want to say that although you're waiting for date, is everybody gonna be written to? Because this time I'm happy that you're here and we're gonna get a report, we're gonna put things together. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say what we're going to do, but we're gonna do it, and then you know exactly what we're doing. Because I'm saying, and more persons are sending message and calling, and so we're setting up a whole register, and we are taking names, information, statements, we're compiling, and we know exactly what we're doing because we're not going to stop. We have to deal with as a movement. You see, I thought, to be honest, it means some persons would have known me um, from dealing with human trafficking. I thought that was a phase of my life that was over, and then I'm out there with the Brooms Foundation, even out of off, just keep going and going, and then coming back now in a political movement and so on to represent. These are things in our blueprint. And it's a part of our mission statement. David will tell you more about that. And now have to come back and deal with this so in depth. Some stories that is coming to my mind. I remember at my mind as I learned that more fathers used to rape their daughters more than stepfathers and all of that. And the amount of children being raped. But it's as if everything business as usual. And I want to really call on the media to support these children and these stories and fathers like these and a lot of other children that are out there, because everybody waiting for a date and waiting for a date in the court. And I really thank God for strength. And German is a person, since then we always in contact. I always remember him. I always call him. I was so moved. I was so moved when you got jailed. Hmm? I was so moved when you got. I said, what? That day when you call me sitting on the bench waiting for to take your phone to handcuff you and take you away to the prison. That was not the day I want to remember. I was so broken on that day. Because I know what you're going through, how you're trying to cope for your daughter. And your daughter there got to deal with this, and then you had to leave her with your sister. Yeah? And she got so much sense. I know that daddy got to go to jail. Daddy got to go to jail. I want to call this, whoever. You must say your daughter call this man, no daddy London, I can't tell she mother tell she, I want to say some things about this person. You know? Don't have her to say daddy London. Wickedness. Wickedness. And the man out there. So Guyanese, it is not about a post on Facebook. It is not a person when I come out here to attack. It is a system that is slaughtering our baby girls, taking their innocence, girls and boys. And we're not paying attention. Hmm? We're not paying attention.
Paying attention to the wrong
We're
things,
paying attention to the wrong things.
minor things.
Minor things.
Think on
Everybody,
all
a
these
lady, a lady
sickness.
told me, Minister, what you down there, the son, and you're screaming on people. I said, listen, we from two different sides of the planet. When I'm out there, it's not, it's because of truth. It's because of I'm compelled, your daughter depending on me. You are depending on me. And together we could change this. We could protect our children. But no, I was saying this morning, all the persons in the comment and all the negative things about me, you are the reason why we still have so much pedophiles around. Look at the little boy in Bartico. Look what's the sentence that he get. Hmm? He should have been given life imprisonment for 18 months old baby. That video was going viral on Facebook. Child just go upstairs, put the child under the net in. Hmm? A little boy. I know it was some other family member,
Yeah.
going to penetrate the baby. Got the baby pampers, take off the baby pampers. Take off the baby pampers. People, what I'm exposing out here, it's just like when I used to expose the poverty, and I will continue to expose poverty. And now, oh, poverty, poverty, people centered, budget, and all of that. Guyanese, understand what I'm saying here. And I'm telling you, I'm going to hit it straight on, and we're going to write the chancellor when you finish. We're going to write the acting chancellor. We want to find out what taking all so long and all these dates, and we got to interrogate this whole system. And that is why I was saying
The system.
the system. When I come down from this slide, because I was trying to reach out, we are not in the National Assembly, and we have a meeting to meet with, because we asked, we want certain amendment as it relates to deal with the law. And we have a meeting when we're done, David, calling, and we getting to meet with Dr. Campbell. And we're going to show you when we go to meet, because we're not just only going to write, and because we're not sitting there in the National Assembly. I too come from the body of Christ, and I'm playing my part. I'm calling on all the church and churches. You're celebrating Women International. They pay attention. I mean, and we have in us that authority to speak things. And just this morning, I was saying to David that the guy who would have raped your daughter, his life and the curse that has befallen him, happiness could never be his portion.
Never.
Never. The plagues that has befallen him, it will never, 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 never be removed. And so don't believe that while we're going to fight now in the physical and with them for a date for the court, that God Himself, you see, when God is dealing with them, it's different from any judge and any magistrate. And I'm telling you, I'm on my knees. I'm getting so radical about it. I go into praying and fast, and I call in on God. I said, I got to become impotent. They cannot. It got to stop. And the people who are there in position to protect our children and taking bribe and taking money and condoning it, listen, it's not going to pass you. It's not going to pass you. People got to rise up. It is sad. This father could come here and cry. You don't know his pain, because every day he got to look at his daughter. And he went to jail. This man went to the prison. You ever went to the prison? I visit all the prison. And I mean, I take a lot of people out of the prison. One day less in a jail, much less. To know you just there and you go to court, handcuff you and bring you from Essequibo. Eh? And left your daughter, thank God faces, for going to serve jail time for man who your daughter said rape. And you ain't touch this man. This man just make an allegation and you gone to jail. But there's evidence from a child. Evidence done try in the court and gone up to high court, and still. I want to call on all of us, This is not a broom's matter, This is a national disaster where the children and his pedophiles become the norm. Right? Pedophile just becomes the norm. And so we're not going to play on it. Listen, now we're not going to only write letters. when I was outside and I was picketing. I remind Vindy, we picketed Vindy office. Remember you came down from Essequibo? We were doing a picketing exercise, and just like you showed up this morning, because we out there, this father's shop, we picketed. We were outside of Vindy office picketing. And you mean to say Vindy didn't even look into this matter after we picketed her? She didn't even call you. Huh? She didn't even call the father. She didn't even look. She didn't even pay attention. It's the same Vindy who talked with broken system. This father was there. We stand with him outside there picketing, calling on the minister to pay attention, to look into this corruption, to look in. Although you tell the police to look in, they ain't doing the job. That's why we were out there calling on the minister.
Even the judicial system.
The judicial system, yeah.
While the case was going on, I had to pay a lawyer from Dr. Todd's office because they suddenly couldn't find the medical.
The police?
Yeah, with my daughter. They couldn't give it to the lawyer. And then a few days later, they suddenly get it. So I made sure I took copies of every statement, everything. I had to pay a lawyer to get those. There's a judicial system now. And somebody talked to me about it, or it would have happened to me, and this was happening to a lot of people.
You would have just thought, I remember when we spoke when you had the
what
lawyer.
They encouraging you to do now.
Yeah.
What you could do.
Yeah. Yeah. But you didn't walk, you must take pictures and send me copies of all those information, because I would want it to go to be a part of the report and things like that. You know, it slipped me to mention that to you, so we can need copies of all of that. And send it there. So I mean, the president, everybody gonna see it. Everybody's gonna see it. But regrettably, 2 years has gone.
This system don't make sense.
2 years
implementing all these foreign policies and all these things, the wrong ones that they're undertaking, because, like you said, we don't even have a pedophile list. You talk about one in horse stealing and they got one here, one here, one here. It's just we talking about it and documented. Yeah. And it's not just persons who accused. They got persons who been to jail for these things, convicted for these things, and come back and integrate themselves, and they could do it again. You don't know.
It's true. And they moved from Georgetown, yes.
You don't know who this gardener is.
Yes. You
understand?
Yeah.
And you hire a maid, some handyman, somebody doing some repairs on your home. You gotta go to the shop and come back. You leave your daughter. You don't know what's going on.
And that is why, German, this policy that the government is moving to say, if you got your place, just renovate it and it could become a daycare and things like that. I have my reservations about that. I hope they got cameras, because how are you going to screen these children? Because sometimes some of the place government going and you have little children renting, they're exposed to pedophiles. And they talk about how much business and how much job it's going to create. Let us examine the dangers also. What? I want to know about this policy more, and how do we protect these children that are so vulnerable? There's a target age, parents, listen to me. Anywhere by 18 months, newborn to 11 is a target age for children being raped. If 100 cases come to me, 85 out of the 100 are almost 90 is between that age range. I want to say that very clear this morning. It is so scary. It's so scary. A child, somebody reached out to me from Anns Grove about an 11-year-old. A woman reached out to me from somewhere on the East Coast. And how the police themselves are not doing their jobs. Because just from 3 complaints, I recognize one thing, that the same person, they allege that this person living in Haslington, he's a taxi driver, used to carry the girl to school and lessons. And this girl get raped. It's separate matters. From this one girl, 3 other persons was in the same place. Now this 11-year-old that this man lured from Anns Grove is from Haslington. And he drives a minibus. Hey, something is going on here. This person, right? And so, is it fish? If I had my phone, I would have opened and call name for this man. But people in Haslington, somebody tell them in Haslington, I'm coming down to Haslington because they got a sick pedophile out there too. And these people in Ansgrove, I'm going to call them because they have the child gives statement, and this matters before the police. So a lot of persons, and I like people who are reaching out and is willing to share and give the information. So I have to deal with that matter there in Haslington. And I have to go to Coven John because I think it's Coven John police. They said deal with it. And to see who is this command and say, listen, this guy name, because I have 3 and 4 other names, but somebody from Haslington, that I am going to remind the officer because they make reports at Coven John police station that what's happening is this same man, you can't get him. And as far as I learned, the man got a wife. Bus conductors, we had a bus driver in Bartica who got a wife. Get a little girl pregnant and impregnating all these little children and so on. What is really going on? The little girl got raped up the East Coast. She was 5. And the mother went to the police and they can't get the man. The mother brings she to town. By the time she's 7, she get raped. She's 11, the man lures she to Diamond. And when she gonna catch a minibus to go to Diamond, the conductor sexed her in the bus and then took her to Diamond. The man had her 2 days in Diamond. Nobody get locked up there, you know. And then the parent find out. And then she was missing. A man collect her and gone. It's 11 years. She's still 11, you know. She must be just gonna be 12 or something there. The system is facilitating. So it tells me the system, they got more pedophiles than anything else.
Exactly.
We have a lot of pedophiles in the system. And like I was saying the other day, I was picketing outside of the after town. Imagine the police. There's a lot of allegation against senior police of raping children in the training school and so forth. And nothing is happening. So this, you get raped in the training school, you out as a police. So when you see the senior, you got to salute him. And then you got raped, and then somebody come to report a rape matter to you. You sit down there to take this report. That invokes something inside of you, your attitude. This place is a mess. The place is a mess. And the government is not doing nothing about public transportation. The Gaddies train, if you hear this music, sit down on lap, sit down on this, sexing in the minibus. And I had no less than 4 drivers the day when I went outside of Vindy that pull up here and tell me, moms, this thing is saying easy and the train won't come out the bus. I said, well, when they start the jail, lock y'all up for this train, you're going to hear something else. But something must be done. Oh, your daughter's 5 now. 5 years. And you're still out there. Never get locked up by the police. No criminal record. But go to jail for a man who me daughter because you hold your composure. And they're taking money and provoking you and come till the Lozignan prison to ask you for drop this matter. So to come you already in jail and come for jail, you in jail. They could have come to me there. The prison officer who take them right there and then to make a big story, you know. Right there and then. Parents, be careful. The other day I saw a little girl, 2 o'clock. She left from a school till Point Sheriff Street there with a bike tail behind in a place like that. And this is happening in Guyana because it's being condoned. It takes a political, it's simple. You got the laws, you ain't even implementing it. And you're looking to amend. Because when people in high places, somebody could make an allegation, somebody who raped them, commit suicide, and the person turn a minister. That's the society. And we are saying as a people, that's what we can condone. And if we had to hold a walk tomorrow, that we just go, we even a walk face to face. So we just go at this one peaceful spot and stand up for the protection of children. You won't find a quarter of the people who you see marching the road there talking about Women International Day, including the ministers.
You don't see that.
You would never. There's a pride. There, like it's something so wrong. But to go and to follow the system and to support the system that is destroying the children, you going out there. If we as women said, we standing still, we ain't going out no if it Women International Day. This is what we want to see. We would not have gotten that woman murdered at the same time when you walk in. They're walking out there and smiling and taking out pictures. And a woman lie down in the sun with caution tape. She husband stabbed her to death. What we standing up for? Yeah.
The first lady or anybody make any statement against
The first lady, you don't have to make any statement. Make statement with what?
they see what optics. The only thing
They don't care. The first lady, they come with some fundraiser, some boat cruise, some place where they bring import the liquor from overseas, and all kind of crap and movie nights and a bundle full of drama. But is the people allowing that? So viewers, I did promise that I am going to be here with Jeremy. We have a lot of work to do with Jeremy. Don't worry, I smell like if Tyler finished cooking. I know if you have eaten this sauce, but you're right here today. And we deal with this report. We going outside there, because we said we going out there and pick it. If you notice, I done gear up and so on. I want to hand you over to David. And David, because now we got even women raping, but I want to encourage you to encourage men about how you to protect and be it young men and big men and things like that. So allow me to have David to come and really take my seat. And if there's anything else, Jeremy, you would want to appeal, you want to say to the public, I mean, as a father, I mean, as a man, um, what you would want to say? Anything? I know you're broken. I know you get very
yeah,
tear up, but it's okay.
it's not just about me. I think generally, uh, whatever ministry is involved in wherever, they should have an avenue that people could come out without fear of victimization or any corporal punishment for doing the right thing and so on. That you could come out and express and show what happened, how you feel if you feel insecure about something. Mustn't wait for it to happen. If I'm in a home and like you said, some fathers, not even till to stepfather, I get in a strange eye at this. It must got some way I could come out and tell somebody other than a mother. It got some organization, some office. I could go and say, well, I'm not comfortable here. Just a little intervention. You just gotta visit the home once. That would deter the man. Simple things you could put in place and just move on, move higher. Simple things. But you see now, these things now don't concern them. I mean, like the system, it don't concern them. It don't happen to them. It don't happen to their children. You understand? You never hear no minister children go through this.
Straight.
We children go through it. We feeling it. So they don't care. And I would encourage anybody out there, because I was in a place too where I was ashamed. When this thing happened to my daughter, I was ashamed. I didn't want nobody know. I didn't want nobody know. But let me tell you, come out. Whether it's the individual, whether it's a parent, come out, let people know and address it. Get justice for your children. Don't let things go down like that. I ain't gonna fight to the end of the world for my daughter. I ain't got no shame. I ain't got no shame. It's not nothing for she to be ashamed about. At a comfortable age, I'm gonna explain to her what happened, what thing, whatever, if she should be, in anything. But I can talk to her if it should come to that. But right now, I represent it for me daughter. I would go on air, I would go in front of the president, I would go in front of anybody and mention it and bring it up because I want justice for what happened. Because like they're accusing me, if it was the other way around and I take justice in my own hands, it would have been a big thing.
Yeah, you
A
will go
big
to life
session.
imprisonment because if
Yeah,
you
big
don't,
session.
you don't get jail. I
Yeah,
mean,
big
Jeremy,
session.
a
But
big
nobody
thing.
know how I feeling.
Yes.
I got keep there in me and I got hold me composure. And I gotta remember every day, you always think it can't happen to you. It happened to me. It could happen to anybody out there. It probably
Mm-hmm.
happening. You see something or you suspect something, address it with your child and whatever. Don't hide it. Like I said, Miss Brooms, a lot of women came and talked to me, family, friends, strangers though who see me online. They come
Mm-hmm.
and talk to me and tell me what I've been through. And they'll
Mm-hmm.
give me the encouragement to do what I'm doing. They wish the parent or whoever did this come out and represent for them and tell me, because they gotta live with it. And it's the last thing you book, you gotta live it to you then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It ain't easy for a woman.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got sisters.
I know. I mean, it's hard for me too, yeah. People is thinking that I some stonewall David. You come there over. I mean, the amount of stories, and like
Yeah.
you said, for what you get chastised, look, Pamela in Region 5, the amount of stories I could sit down here and tell you, endless, endless, endless. So I'm gonna leave you with David and Jeremy. I just
Yeah, thanks
finally,
for having me, Miss
they
Brooms.
you talk about coming out and say something. We have a bigger problem than that because even when you say something, they don't want to do nothing because you're
Mhm.
speaking out. Your daughter told her teacher, went and get the examination, and everything
The
is still
police
done.
telling me it's
The
hearsay.
police
They
telling
can't
you
arrest the guy.
it, you the child saying something and being examined and is a hearsay, right? So just let me shift out little and David go shift with this. David, too much here for Matthias, David. I'm too wake up for this. Like the food coming to Matthias.
Yes, good. This morning is it still to everyone. We've heard German's testimony. Here, when I first heard it, I was at the loss of words. This is how do you even reconcile? How could you wrap your head around the feeling system, a testimony like this, and for him to tell us that listen, this is something that is continuously going on to women and children and little boys and little girls across the entire Guyana. What we see every day, especially yesterday, this we celebrated. Well, for me, it was no celebration. There was no celebration in my home. There was no celebration among my colleagues here at the ALP because it is nothing to celebrate here in Guyana with the amount of rape and abuses happening to women and children. Official reports from the Guyana Police Force say that the statistics say that there's one rape that happens every 2 days. So statistically, by Sunday of every week, about 3 to 4 people that would have been raped,
This is 14 year old.
right? And the statistics are alarming. And what it hurts and it enrages me inside is that we sit behind cameras and we repost Happy Women International Day, and there's nothing that we're not outraged enough. And then we look at other countries outside of here for sensitivity, or we'll mention these countries where the young generation comes out by the tens of thousands fighting against a government that does not serve the interests of the people because we need to realize we need to be, first of all, more patriotic, and we need to realize that the government gives you nothing. Everything you have, you work for it. Anything you have, you're entitled to it as a Guyanese. So the government does not, you do not go owe the government anything. You are entitled to land, you're entitled to your rights, you're entitled to your freedom, you're entitled to speak out. So like Jeremy said, and he encouraged everybody to speak out. And I can understand why a lot of people don't speak out here in Guyana is because of, like Jeremy said, victimization. But not only that, a lot of people are afraid that when they tell somebody or a social worker or counselor or something in confidence, the person comes out and they publicize it to people with names and everything. So somebody says, what's the problem? The problem, listen, we need to, and I would like to encourage young people, and from a young man's standpoint, and we need to start where it's closest to us. We start in the homes, we start in the public transportation. And I would like to encourage young men, especially those in secondary school, in the early 20s, 30s, and these things, especially ones using public transportation. You know, you see a young woman that could be abused in a situation if she's, because in the public transportation they put young women, little girls to sit down, and people who they know don't know lots and these type of things, and it has become a norm. And we just go in the bus and say, oh no, it is okay. I want you to look at that young woman, look at that little girl, and think, what would you do if that was your sister? Would you like to send your sister in a public transportation and this is what the conductors is doing? Would you like the vulgar music and the language and the drinking while driving when your family's lives is in their hand? I want you to, for us to put ourselves in the shoes of the abuse and as a family of the victims, and really think to know that, listen, what would I do? You know? So I want us to step out from behind the screens, behind the keyboards, behind the commentary, and behind the walks, because this conversation that I'm having with here you all, I had with one of my very good friends. He actually works in the government, and we were talking, and we were talking about the walk that I had yesterday, and I was telling him, listen, the government could walk whole year. They could walk whole year, every day, nighttime, daytime, everything, and nothing would change unless there's intervention and enforcement of the laws. So I like to close off that. And here at the LP, we have a lot of things that we're working on, based on our mission statements and our blueprint in creating safe spaces for women and young men and girls to share the story, to talk, and for support. So please reach out to us. I encourage you to look out for the Assembly for Liberty and Prosperity led by Dr. Brooms, and let's come together, because it's not any more political problem. This is a personal problem for everybody. So I like to wrap this up here. I know we've been here a long while, a long time. And like Dr. Brooms has said, Tyler's almost finished up cooking. So I sometimes I eat here, but I would like to eat again. So I would like to say ciao and goodbye to everybody.